Hey guys, I just got my Taylor Solid Body, the discontinued Taylor Solid Body. That's a story for another day. But I just got it back from Appalachian Bluegrass Shop. They were kind enough to hook me up with a brand new nut. They cut new slots for the nut. They polished it up real nice. It looks great. But more importantly, it plays great. Before, I was having a weird rattle on the A string at the first fret. I'm not getting that anymore, so it sounds fantastic, so I love it. This whole exercise of taking my guitar into the shop and having it repaired brings to mind a conversation that I had with a student the other day. I want to share a part of the conversation with you guys because I think that this conversation relates to all of us. As guitar players, we are kind of victims to the idea that gear will help us play better, that gear will solve all of our problems as musicians. And a lot of times as musicians, and I'm no exception to this, is that we fixate on gear. We look at gear as the final piece of the puzzle. And over the years of playing, I've come to a realization that the less that I fixate on my gear, the better off I am. Now, I just talked about how I took my guitar into Appalachian Bluegrass and they fixed it up. So I'm fixating on gear, so I'm already contradicting myself. But I make a distinction. Your gear should function properly. So you should fixate on that. Your gear should play in tune. Your guitar should play in tune. It should be properly intonated. The action should be as low as you need it to be. And there should be no buzzes or rattles or anything like that. It should work. Your gear should work 100%. If your gear is not working for you, then you need to fix it for sure. But beyond that, I think the biggest thing you should do when you are concentrating on your tone is concentrating on your own playing. Your own playing has the biggest effect on how your gear will sound. You can have the $5,000 PRS guitar played through a vintage Fender amp, everything set up perfectly. You could have pro gear, but if your playing isn't that great, then the gear won't make up for that difference. However, if you flipped it on its head and you had gear that operated correctly but was just lower end gear, maybe a Squier Strat, maybe a practice amplifier, and you put it in the hands of a guy like Guthrie Govan or Eric Johnson or Tazen Abbasi, then those guys are going to make that gear sound amazing because it's operating correctly, but also because they are amazing players. And if you're a good player, you can make the most out of the gear that you have. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that usually, the weakest link in the chain of sound that gets from your hands to the amp to the audience's ear is your own playing, not the gear. Your own playing is what's going to have the biggest effect on how good things sound. So the next time you have the urge to buy that newest overdrive pedal or trade in the guitar you have for another guitar, rethink that maybe. It's probably your own playing that can have the biggest effect and not the gear that you have. Anyway, just a thought. Keep that in mind and happy playing.